What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again, coming in hot on another one. We don't know the release date, but presumably we are about 100 days or so from MLB The Show 21, so practically right there, nuts to butts, very close. You can almost taste it. In the same way you can almost taste this AHA sparkling water. You can almost tell there's some flavor other than H2O in there. Stick to Waterloo if you're looking for a sparkling water. Not an ad, but I would sure like it to be. So in today's video, I want to talk about some new legends that, oh boy, I am yearning for. My loins are ready for these legends to be added into the game. Is this the year that they finally get back Ben Revere's likeness rights? What all-time catcher this time shall have worse attributes than Jacob Stallings? We shall soon find out. Leave a like. Leave who you guys would like to see down below. Could be realistic, could be a character from Major League, could be Willie Mays Hayes. Just let me know what legends that you guys want to see, and let's get into it. For the first one, we're gonna toss it back to before Alex's testicles were the size of raisins due to needles. Back when he played in the city that has the Space Needle. Nice little connection there. ARod. I picked the Seattle version. This is the one I want to see most because I think this is when he was the most complete of a player, back before they had to stick him over at third base because Derek Jeter already manned the shortstop position. Well, who could say? But ARod, of course, controversial. Not controversial in video games. He is a damn monster, and I would love to see him back. Of course, I didn't have a great way of really putting out attributes in a way that looked good, I would say, so I'll just talk about them. ARod from this time, 1996, he led the league in batting average. I would imagine he would have nearly maxed out against righties and lefties. Power, not quite maxed out, probably like 110, 120 against righties and lefties respectively. And then the fielding and such, I would expect to be pretty consistent. Diamond defense, 90 plus arm, 80 to 90 speed. Exactly what one would want. The ideal attributes for a card, I would say. But, you know, hopefully they make multiple versions. Make him the John Smoltz of MLB The Show 21. Give him a Rangers version. Give him a Yankees version. A minor league version when he's coming back from his pen suspension. Really anything. We would take it all. So ARod, of course, would be a cool one to see right there. Finish God of War. If you have not played that game, good lord. Have you even lived yet? Pedro Martinez. A lot of you guys probably know this to be my favorite player of all time, despite playing on one of the least favorite teams of all time for myself. I think Pedro's one of the best pitchers of all time, and he would fucking reflect that. Pedro Martinez won back-to-back Cy Youngs, of course, with the Boston Red Sox. He would definitely have about 110 to 120 stamina, anywhere in between there. His whip in his second Cy Young season with the Red Sox was actual lunacy. It was like 0.75 or some ridiculous shit like that. So his hit 9, I would imagine, would be probably around 120, above 100, BB9, K9 probably around 120 as well, 115, 120 in there. Really not even scratching the surface so far of the pitchers that we do have. We're going to talk about another all-time pitcher, but it's truly absurd. If they were to give him a Cy Young Award card that reflects on that singular season, I think it was 2004. I could be incorrect about that, but I did not make these cards, by the way. These were just from the player vault, so respective pog used the ones that made those. Just look for the one with the most downloads. Typically was the one that I chose, and the pitches looked right to me. I looked them up. I believe this is basically what Pedro Martinez threw. I don't know if he did throw a running fastball, but I don't know. This would be interesting. He doesn't have the sinker, but I would imagine next year they're not going to have the sinker be the end-all be-all like it was this year. He has a good template. Pedro Martinez would definitely be intrigued by that one. Joe Dimaggio. At this point, we just kind of have to accept that half the new legends every year are going to be New York Yankees. Either that or I don't know, don't buy the game. That's just how it is, because everybody plays for the Yankees at least 1 year in their career. It's the golden rule of baseball. But Joe Dimaggio, we got Babe in 18, Mickey in 19, and Garrick in 19 or Mickey this year, Garrick, I don't know. You guys get the point. Mickey 20, Garrick 19. Dimaggio has to be for 21, right? It's only fitting. Maybe Roger Maris. one could say. But Dimaggio brings a good balance. I don't think this guy did too well of a job of actually displaying attributes. He would have well into the maxed on contact, pretty near 120 per side. The power kind of depended. Some years he had about 30, a couple years of 40 plus. Of course, he did miss out on a lot of years from, actually participating in the war. So you kind of have to, factor that in as well. Kind of like Ted Williams. His attributes don't really reflect how great of a player was because he didn't have a lot of his prime to really play through. But I would imagine diamond defense, speed around the 70 mark. So pretty competitive player. I would definitely be interested in Joe Dimaggio here. It doesn't look like we're getting DH now. I keep saying I do not think they're going to add universal DH until it's added into the MLB. And, good guy Robbie Manfred just struck that idea down. So I don't think it's going to be coming this year. So yet again, there's going to be 1,000 outfielders and just 3 lone spots to put them. Next up, who's a player so fast to have stole 480 bases and $100 million from the Dodgers? Who is Carl Crawford? Alex? Yes, again, one of my favorite players from my favorite team, the Rays. Crawford really drew me in as a kid, because he was so prolific on the base pass, and he also, hit about 20 home runs, hit for a decent average, and was a really big impact player, despite what his, OPS and what WAR might seem. Kind of like Ichiro in a way. They're not going to have huge OPS, but mainly due to them not walking, they get on base, they steal. A single practically turns into a double at that point. Crawford, again, I don't think he would be an 84 overall in Diamond Dynasty, but this would be a kind of card that I would love if they introduced early in the year. I think they need to do a better job of that, putting some of these cards towards the start, so they don't just get, lost in translation when, we have the best cards available. So if they released him in, May, in April, on May 1st, my birthday, who knows, could be a nice birthday treat. Maybe they give him me for free. I don't think so, but it could be. It could happen. Carl Crawford, I would just love to see him at the game. I think his last year was in MLB 16, much like ARod's. So it's been quite some years since we've actually gotten him at the game. Next up, Joe Mauer. What's a Gomes video without back-to-back hometown and favorite team bias? Would it even be one? I don't think so. Of course, we have the hometown hero, Joe Mauer, right here. And this was the catcher that I'm talking about, that they're probably going to have Jacob Stallings or some other no-name catcher out of Eric Kratz might have better offensive numbers than Joe Mauer next year. But I would love to see him back in the game. We talked about this previously. The shortest time it took them to add a new legend back was Jimmy Rollins from 18 into 20. This would be a long enough lifespan. Joe Mauer was on back-to-back covers, the only man to do so. I think in any baseball game, in practically any other sports game, there was somebody. I think it was Allen Iverson on 2K back before 2K was a shitty game. Joe Mauer, of course, would be great. Hall of Fame catcher, by the way. Diamond defense, give him 90 plus arm strength. Pretty much maxed out contact per side, let's be real. They really nerfed him back in MLB 18. He deserves better offensive numbers, given an MVP card from 2009, and it's going to be very competitive towards the top end of the catchers, and even around 60 speed, despite being a lanky bastard at 6'5", a catcher. Reason why he didn't catch for his whole career. He was kind of fast, did steal some bases. Here we go, Captain America, David Wright. Hard to believe that he's been retiring for 2 years. Harder to believe that he hadn't played a full season. Well, not even full season. A season with over 200 at-bats since 2014. It's wild. Another case of injuries just ruining a player's career. David Wright, I think he was also on an MLB The Show cover back in 07. Always getting mixed up. I think it's him, not Beltran. It always has a blank spot in my memory. But David Wright, another guy I would love. I don't know if he would be a 99. I think if they had on one specific year, he could be. We would have to see. But again, this is a guy that they would want to release earlier on in the year because he wouldn't be the top end third baseman out of, the Mike Schmidts of the world if they actually made Mike Schmidt a bit better. David Wright, diamond defense again. Notice a bit of a trend here. I like the good defenders, good contact. pretty good power. Again, depends on the year that you're talking about. And then decent speed. Kind of a do-it-all player, all-around guy. David Wright, I always kind of saw him as the NL version of Evan Longoria as a Rays fan growing up. Unfortunately, neither of those players really lived up to all their potential. Longoria really only had one major injury. David Wright, I think, has a bit more case of why his career derailed. That's just because of him getting constantly injured. But that's another guy I'd want. And let's end up with the big unit. The man the birds have nightmares of, Randy Johnson. I think his pitches are accurate. I saw two-seamer instead of the sinker. Let's be real. You know who STS is. It's gonna mysteriously turn into a sinker, which I think most of us would be happy about. Maybe even give him a fifth pitch. That would be kind of cool too. But Randy Johnson, do I even have to say it? Maxed out 125 K per 9. He won back-to-back Cy Youngs. 4 straight, damn it. Do you realize how impressive that is? Let Kurt Schilling, let your teammate have just one in that span. But Randy Johnson, of course, much sought-after pitcher alongside Pedro Martinez. I think they're pretty much 1A, 1B as far as what people request every single year. And again, what I request every single year, I want to see him in the game. I think they're kind of similar, but a bit different. Randy Johnson, of course, threw a lot harder than Pedro, and his strikeouts were even better than Pedro, which was phenomenal at missing bats. Randy Johnson would be phenomenal. We always talk about teams that never get love. The Diamondbacks are one of them. The Rockies are another. I would love to see them finally show some respect to some of these teams that never get cards. The Rays actually did, kind of because they had to, because they made the World Series. But I would love to see the Diamondbacks. Do we have any D-back fans in there? Comment down below. And I think that's pretty much gonna round it out. So those are 7 new legends that I really want to see. In any order, no. But those 7 are probably the most wanted ones that I want. If you're to look back to last year, did pretty well. I requested Mo, we got Mo. I requested David Ortiz, Jim Thome. Was I the deciding factor of them, forking over the wallet to get those rights? Likely not. I don't think so, but hopefully maybe this bit of a luck trends on to this year, and maybe we get a couple more that we requested in this one. And again, let me know what legends that you guys want to see down below in the comments section. If you guys did enjoy this one, leave a like down below. We have an actual MLB update coming in a few days. We have new cards. You guys excited? Buckle in. Yeah, subscribe if you guys are new, and thank you all for watching. Gomes is gonna be out.